Getting back on the horse. Today's video I think is titled Getting Back on the Horse. I think I'm going to do a story time on this one. I got to get used to talking to this camera right here. And up to this point I've been apprehensive about doing every one of these videos. But it's time to do another one. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. I think that was Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Is that his name? Anyway, yeah. So I got to get over my fear of looking at this camera and running my mouth. So here goes nothing. I go first. Oh man, I think I got keyed in on that little lesson when I was in the service. We were doing a little training exercise off the coast of California. I was stationed at Camp Pendleton, 1st Marine Regiment. And I think it's San Clemente Island. They got a couple islands we did little exercises on. And this one particular, we were on board the USS Peleliu. What was that? LHA, landing helo assault craft. And during that experience, well, we were training up, running up for what they used to call MCRES, Marine Combat Readiness, something test. So we were doing a bunch of different kinds of exercises, and came across. Well, no, actually, we were all. We had been running raggedy. The guys were tired. The equipment was getting worn down. We were basically pretending or training as if for war, which our commanding officer decided that we would forego some of the maintenance, routine maintenance, things like that, because you don't get to do that kind of stuff in the real world when it's real. So anyway, we were running a little raggedy, and one morning, 0:30, we were all geared up to get on the helicopters and, I don't know, take off of the ship and land on one of those islands out there for a little training mission. So I remember 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, it's always 0:30 in the morning. But we were sitting, I was in a stick, got your pack, rifle, all of that stuff, and we were in our little sticks waiting to go up and stage to get on the helicopter. And one of the helicopters had taken off. They, fill up full of Marines, and then they'd launch, and then they'd fill another one, and they'd launch. So we're launching helicopters off the LHA. 0:30. So one of the helicopters goes out, I don't know, quite a ways, maybe a mile or two. And then apparently it had some engine problems, and it turned around and tried to make it back to the ship. Didn't quite make it. I think that wound up being on the news, possibly. I know the Marine died on that helicopter. Helicopter came and landed right on the edge of the ship. Didn't quite make it to the ship, at least on the deck, but it wound up hanging off the edge. There's a bunch of netting on the side, and so the little rungs under the helicopter, I guess, got caught up. But anyway, the helicopter's hanging off of the side of the ship, and we didn't know it at the time, but as it turned out, one of the Marines didn't properly buckle up. Bad things can happen. He didn't buckle up, and apparently what happened was his head hit the 50 cal at the door, and he went in the drink, Pacific Ocean, and I think it was like a week before his body washed up. They did a little search and rescue or whatever, but yeah, he was gone. Anyway, we're sitting all here getting ready to get back on the waiting to get on our little helicopter. And after experiencing that, needless to say, I was apprehensive, knowing that we are not necessarily keeping up with all of the routine maintenance. So I remember sitting there, and we were maybe 2 sticks behind, and the battalion commander, I don't recall his name, Lieutenant Colonel, he came over and gave us one of those Marine Corps pep talks. And it included that statement, getting back on the horse. I don't remember how he quite put it, but he basically said that we needed to, before fear sets in, we need to keep things going, keep the operation moving. And at the time, I thought that was kind of silly. You know, I mean, there's a safety issue, obviously. But yeah, the whole job is a safety issue. So I remember not, I mean, that's the one thing. I love flying too, the small Cessna 150s. Oh man, I dig flying those airplanes. I like to fly. But riding on helicopters, oh, yeah, for my days in the service, I never want to ride another helicopter again. Same thing with skiing. Oh, I took a little injury on a training exercise doing mountain warfare training, cross-country skiing, pulling an Accio. Messed up one of my knees. But anyway, I don't much care for helicopters, nor skiing. But wound up getting back on the helicopter. Didn't much think about it after that, but I made it through 4 years, never liking to ride them, but I always got on. Never really paused after that, or, you know, thought too much about that episode. But I remember when the battalion commander did that. Get them up, spin them up, go. Run up on there and jump on the helicopter. Get back on the horse. That came to mind a couple days ago when I did the last video. I figured I'm always going to do another one. But after some period of time, oh man, that apprehension sets in, and what am I going to do sitting here talking to a telephone? I feel stupid doing that. But at some point, I've got to get over something. For some reason, I feel this is necessary, a necessary part of my growth. So here I am, back on the horse, doing another YouTube video. Oh, and let me see my little cheat sheets. Yes, I adopted it. I didn't know when I came up with it, but I always, if I can identify something that I'm afraid of, I would always try to tackle it. And then I had a friend of mine not too long. I said, wow, it's been a while. And he brought up the same point. If there's anything that you're afraid of doing, do it. And I found that quote. It was by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Always do what you're afraid to do. That's something. And then I'd like to leave you with this. 2 Timothy 1:17, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Anyway, I think I've faced this one. Got back on this horse, and giddy up, giddy up, giddy up. That kind of a thing. Anyway, trust you have a magnificent day. Do that, make a decision, and until next time, survive unplugged. I will. Goodbye.